So I went to the Shetlands to document some local legends, and this one is quite good. There was this woman, and she married a man, and they moved to a meadow and built themselves a house. And it was a quiet area, and not many people wanted to live there, which is funny, because it's lovely. Another reason people didn't want to live there is because there was a man, or at least people sort of thought he kinda could have been a man, except he was also kind of like a wolf, because he had these big ears and was hairy, and he would sit and he would sit on the rock by the loch in the distance just fishing, and people were scared of him. But the newlywed couple, they were poor, and so they had to live there, and he didn't trouble them. Anyway, they lived there for a few years when one day her husband died. It's not funny. And in her grief, she struggled and made a commitment to stay in that house built by her husband. But it was hard. And being a woman alone, she struggled, and the house became worn. She had a creaking gate and a roof that leaked, and the garden was a state. It was tough. Anyway, one day she noticed that the gate that had been creaking every night had stopped. And in the morning she went down, and sure enough it had been fixed. Wow. And one day she noticed that the dripping from the broken roof had stopped, and sure enough she went out in the morning and the roof had been fixed. And a few weeks later she noticed that her garden had been trimmed. And so blah blah blah. And there's the doorbell. And the dog's barking. So just give me a minute. I'm going to have to get that because no one else is. Excuse me. Roz has come round to talk to my mum, so you might hear them yapping. So anyway, and every day she would see the wolver out on the rock fishing in the mist. Oh yeah, he was called the wolver, by the way, the man who looked like a wolf. Anyway, one day, standing at the sink, she noticed he wasn't there. And the next day when she looked, he wasn't there. So she thought he must be ill. And she went up to the crag where he lived, and she found him in his wooden den, all cold and weak, and she gave him some milk and cheese, and he ate it. He ate the cheese. Oh God. You know what, this isn't really working. Shall we just... Shall I just tell you a little about myself? Basically, my name's Lee. I went to the Shetlands to make these films for Channel 4, but basically one of my tapes got mashed up, so I had to do this voiceover thing. But I'm learning more and more every day, actually, that I'm very boring. I find it very difficult to keep people's interest. It's just my voice and the things I say. I kind of got this commission to coincide with National Storytelling Week, but I've blown it, haven't I?